Hello. So, as lots of you know, there's no Tuesday evening lessons this week. So, I thought I would make up for that by recording a short practice in the garden, hopefully without too much interference from Willow. But, if he gets too involved, he's going to have to be put in the house. But you can stay for this bit, Willow. You might learn something, you never know. So, my theme for this week is a beautiful prayer that I found in my Book of Days. It is called Prayer for Clarity, and I thought it was beautiful, and I had to immediately scrawl it into my flower book. So for those of you that haven't seen my flower book, it's a very old book that I have wantonly defaced with my own art and scrawling, much to my husband's despair. It was damaged. I think we got it for about £5 in a second-hand bookshop. It does have some truly beautiful art in it, which I will leave alone, I promise. But anyway, the purpose of today's lesson, I will read you this prayer in a moment. So before I do that, let's just get grounded. So wherever you are, just maybe pause the video here if you need to create a sanctuary for yourself. So your yoga mat, maybe some blankets, some cushions, any props that you might need, maybe a cup of tea or a glass of water. Make sure you're wearing the right clothes, all that sort of thing. And then if you're ready, just either coming down into a seated position or laying down on your mat or your blanket. And just starting to tune into your breath. So experiencing the breath as smooth and slow. Ideally, we are inhaling and exhaling through the nose. But if there's any challenges around that, then as I always say, just take the air wherever you can get it. I have a little bit of a cold at the moment, so for me, it's a little bit of a naughty mixture between nose and mouth breathing, which, isn't really what we're supposed to be doing in yoga, but we're human and we have to make allowances for that. So just continue focusing on the breath, and then start to notice all the places on the back of the body that are sinking down into the ground. Experiencing those parts as heavy and grounded. And I'm going to read you this prayer for clarity. Bless me with the clarity to see what is good in my life, to cherish the small beauties, the everyday wonders, and the tiny gifts. Let me see the abundance in what I have, and how better to share that abundance so that I enrich this world as it enriches me. Knowing that I am blessed, may I find the courage to make needful changes that allow more goodness into my life. I just think it's beautiful and it's simple and easy to digest. So what I'm taking from this is to cherish the small beauties, the everyday wonders, and the tiny gifts. And we're going to be working through that a little bit today. So if you are not already laying down on your mat, on your back, let's just get into that position now. For those of you with pets, I'm sure you sympathise with my predicament here. So we are laying down on the ground. And on the next inhale, let's just swim the arms up and over the head, making the movement last the entire length of the breath. And exhaling to float the hands down, all the way back down to our sides. So we're just flowing and floating with the breath. We're not rushing, not forcing. And this breath is smooth and long and deep. Now on the next exhale, let's gather the knees up towards the chest and taking a knee in each hand, I'm going to make circles with the knees away from each other. Exhaling as the knees come towards you. And inhaling as we push away. Now next time as your knees come to center, let's change the direction of that movement and see how that affects the breath. Oh, I just got a really lovely aroma of hot cross buns. It might be imaginary, as it's not quite Easter anymore, but oh, I think somebody's toasting a hot cross bun somewhere. Okay, now next time the knees come to center, let's just relax the arms down, keep the knees lifted. And then on the inhale, just extending the feet up towards the sky. You'll notice my legs are not out long here, really relaxed. And then maybe it feels good to float the arms up in a similar way. So we're in dying bug pose here. Actually, genuinely called dying bug pose. And we can act like the dying bug. We can shake, we can wobble. My neighbours will be wondering what on earth is going on. Hope they don't call an ambulance. Just letting it all go here. Breathing, still tuning into that breath. And then coming to stillness. And let's come into full-on dead bug pose, or you may prefer to know it as happy baby. So we are opening the hips, bringing the knees down towards the armpits, and then reaching up the inside of the leg, either taking hold of a trouser leg, or an ankle, or the sides of your feet, or some people like to hang on to a big toe, your choice. But wherever you are, we're thinking about the heels, the soles of the feet coming up towards the sky. Maybe taking little rocks here, and we're also encouraging the knees down towards the sides of the body. Just make sure you can take a nice full breath here. If you're feeling constricted in the tummy, make sure those legs are nice and wide so we're not squashing anything here. So this is basically an upside down squat, getting all the benefits of our squat pose without any of the pressure on the joints. Okay, so thinking about exiting this pose now, I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together in the air, and then hoping that you haven't got a dog in front of you, first of all lifting the head and looking through towards those toes, and then really trying to open the knees here. And then we're going to gently release the feet and allow the feet to make contact with the ground, or a small dog. Yeah, it's a small dog in my case, who is going to have to move. Sorry, Willow. Okay, and then we're going to rest the head down on the shoulders and take the hands above the head, which I'm a bit squeamish about because you never know what's going to be in the grass, as much as, you know what a nature lover I am. A bit funny about bugs, going to be honest. And breathing here. And you can keep the hands above the head. I am going to be a wimp and float my hands down. I'm going to make Yoni Mudra. So thumbs together, forefingers together. Place them on the womb space. You could just have your hands at the side of the body or above the head still, your choice. And we're going to breathe in 3 parts. So breathing first of all down into the chest, further into the ribs, and then right down into the belly, and then exhaling through the belly, the ribs, and the chest. So that 3-part breath, just continuing with this. So sipping in air, the collarbones, the ribs, the tummy, exhaling from the tummy, the ribs, and the collarbones. So this is just telling your nervous system to calm down. Everything is okay. We've got our vagus nerve that's running from the side of the face, coming all the way down through the vital organs, all the way down into the abdomen. So when we have this 3-part breath, as well as all the benefits we get to the lungs, to the respiratory system, it's also hitting all of the nerves from the vagal system. And the vagus system, vagus nerve, 85% of the messages are going from the body to the brain. And this is why it's so important to use somatics, to use yoga, to use physical movement and sensation to tell the mind to calm down. So just taking a few more of these 3-part breaths. And then we're going to bring the knees together. Take the knees over to one side. Oh, come all the way up. Just because I'm squeamish about bugs. Ridiculous. Okay, so coming up to a seated position now. So let's just warm the neck up. We're going to bring the chin to chest and then wait for the inhale and sweep the chin over the shoulder. Exhale to your center, chin to chest. Inhale up over the left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Continue 2 more times with your breath. And then on that final time, when we bring our chin to our chest, on the inhale, just bringing the head up to a neutral position. So we are going to bring ourselves over into a tabletop, setting up for cat and cow. I'm going to keep it to a silent cat and cow today, just in case my neighbours really think I've lost it. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. If I look a bit skew-iff, it's because I'm on very rough ground here. Now we are going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. Maybe we're lifting the tailbone, not if we are pregnant. And then exhaling to push the ground away. Angry cat shape with the back, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone under. So we're inhaling to drop the belly, lift the chin. And exhaling. Come into cat. Now, closing down the eyes here if you haven't already done so. And really noticing every single vertebra. Flexing and moving and aligning with this gentle back and forth. Nice and slow, as if you're slowing down time and really focusing on each of those bones in the back. On the next inhale, coming to a neutral spine, we're going to tuck the toes. And on an exhale, we're floating the hips up towards the sky, coming all the way up onto tippy toes and coming forwards onto the wrists before then encouraging heels down towards the mat. Encouraging the abdomen, the torso towards the front of your thighs. Lifting up through the hips and breathing here. Now, taking a look between your feet, we are going to walk the hands towards those feet now. So, bringing the hands towards the feet. Either we are staying here in a dangle pose, which is my preference, but if there's any osteoporosis or untreated blood pressure issues, then it's safer to come into a halfway lift or a hinge, just like this. So we are making a flattish back, as flat a back as you can. We're still getting a lovely stretch in the back of the legs. So we're either dangling here or in a hinge. And then on an inhale, we're coming all the way up. Hands coming up above the head. And exhaling, hands to heart center. So we're going to do some shoulder flossing. Now, those of you that have been in class with me know that I always say you could use anything for this. I just wanted to be quick about it, so I went into my house, and the only thing I could find that was long enough and wasn't stretchy was the dress that I was actually wearing over, beautiful dress, that I was wearing over this yoga gear before I decided to come out here and do a video. So this will be perfect for me. It's not going to look great on video, but it's the best I could do. So you could use a yoga strap, a bit of old rope, a scarf, a man's tie is really good as well. Anything that's long enough, a dressing gown belt, a coat belt. It's long, it's thin, and it's not going to stretch. So, shoulder flossing. We are going to stand with our feet hip distance apart, maybe slightly wider, and then hold your non-stretchy long thing really nice and wide. So wider, definitely wider than your shoulder span. And then take it down in front of the body, and you are thinking about pulling it. So you're pulling it taut, and then we are going to inhale, take it up and over the head, and see whether you can go all the way back. Okay. Apologies if you can hear the screaming children. I do have mics on, so it should be fairly quiet. And then back and over the other way. Now, if you find you can't do that, then you have options. You could just say, I can't make my hands any wider than this, so I'm just going to take it to that edge. So say I couldn't get any further back than this, then I stop there. That's my end point. And then on the exhale, I come back. So the movements are slow and they're controlled. If, like me, you find, yeah, I'm able to do this, then I'm going to move my right hand slightly in. I am looking for my edge. I'm looking for the distance between the hands that gets me to the point where I can only just make that full range of motion. And once I find that, I'm going to take 5 repetitions. Okay, so that, if I push that, it's a world of pain, so I'm not going to push it. So I'm going to just shuffle my hand out a little bit. Try now. Yeah, I can just do it. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 more back and forth like this. Now, don't get me wrong, this does not feel nice. It does not feel nice, but it also does not feel injurious or harmful. 2 more. And 1 more. Oh, okay. And then if you're with me, we're just going to release. Take some floppy arms. and give ourselves a hug. And on the other side. And then let's just fold forward. So again, maybe coming into a full dangling pose. Maybe it's a halfway lift, just whatever feels right for you. Wherever you are, we're going to come into elephant pose. So taking the hands down to the floor in between the feet. Or if you're really concerned about coming over with a back that's not flat, you could still do this from your hinge. So I will show you both ways. On an inhale, we are going to reach up to the sky with our right arm. Stay here for the exhale. Inhale here. And exhale to bring that hand down. Now on the next inhale, the left arm comes up. So if you're in hinge, same thing, you're just coming at it from the knee rather than the ground. On the next exhale, coming down. So let's do that again on both sides. Inhaling, right hand to the sky. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale to come down. And then left arm. Inhale to come up. Exhale down. Inhale. And exhale to come down. And again, we're either dangling, letting it all go, or in our halfway lift. Okay, now we're going to inhale and just roll up. So the head is going to be the very last thing to lift. Coming up nice and slow. And opening the chest, dropping the shoulders. Now we're going to take the hands up and over the head. And then crossing the hands so that we can interlace the fingers here. Now, we are going to turn the knuckles towards the front and then see if we can turn them again and bring the knuckles behind the back of the neck here. Once you're here, think about opening up the shoulders and breathing here. Now you can stay just like this, or we can take a fold, coming down into a flat back, maybe coming all the way down. Inhaling, halfway up, all the way up, releasing the hands down. Okay, I'm going to turn around to show you this one. Shoulder squeezes. So we're clasping the hands behind the back and pulling the shoulders down. And then on an exhale again, maybe coming down into a flat back, maybe coming all the way down and floating the hands up towards the sky. Now I am nursing a bit of a shoulder injury at the moment, so my shoulder flexibility is not what it usually is. And this is really going to help, all this good stuff. So lowering the hands down onto the sacrum and then releasing the interlacing of the fingers and inhaling halfway up, all the way up. Lovely. So, as this is a really short practice, we're not going to be doing much standing today. Inhaling, having the whole of the mat out in front of you so that as we exhale, we can swan dive forwards, place the hands onto the mat, walk hands out, coming back into our downward facing dog. Little pedals here with the feet, encouraging the heels down towards the mat. Then inhaling to bring right leg up. Exhaling to sweep that right knee through in between the hands. Encouraging right foot out towards the left long edge of the mat here. Coming up into pigeon. And then exhaling to come into a sleeping swan or a sleeping pigeon. Noticing the hips. Noticing any feelings of release. Couple more breaths here. Hello, Willow. Hello, Willow. Hello. Have you come to distract me so everyone stays in pigeon for too long? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Okay, so when you are ready, we're going to come out of this. Now we can either push it back into downward facing dog, or of course you could push it back into a tabletop first. So I'm going to come back into a down dog. So I'm going to plant my hands, tuck the left toes, and then wait for an exhale. I'm going to come all the way up. And then pedal the toes again. Now this is going to be awkward, Willow. I'm not going to lie. On an inhale, left leg coming up into the air. Exhaling to slide that left knee through the dog. Taking the right leg out long behind, coming up onto the fingertips. Breathing here. Thinking of how a proud pigeon might puff out their chest. And then exhaling to come down into a sleeping pigeon. Again, noticing the hips, especially the left hip. A few more breaths here. And this time, rather than pushing ourselves back up, I'm going to take us out of it the yin way. So we're just going to allow the body to rock over onto the left thigh, and then taking the right foot and bringing it together with the left foot. So the soles of the feet are together. We're going to make a little hammock for the toes. Straighten the spine, and then on an exhale, just allow the body to come down over the feet. Knowing that the closer the heels are to the groin, the stronger the stretch. So you have scope to move your heels away. Now rolling up, the chin being the last thing to lift. I'm going to take the right leg out long. Turn to face right toes. Inhale to lift up from the hips, and exhale to fold forwards. So bringing, as if you're trying to bring your chin to your knee rather than your nose to your knee. Obviously biology is going to vary here, but I just find it encourages a straightening of the spine rather than a curving of the spine. Noticing how it's feeling to breathe into the left side of the body, and let's just really open that up. So taking the right arm, right hand, and bringing it onto the inside of the right leg. Using this right arm to kind of push against right leg and look over the left shoulder. Now from here, we can stay exactly as we are with the left hand on the left knee, or we can take a bind, taking that left arm and wrapping it around the small of the back, or bringing it up and over the body, over the head, really opening up the left rib area. And then inhaling to slowly bring yourself up and out of this. Taking the left hand, planting it down. Now we're going to come up into a kind of wild thing pose. So we're bringing the hips up and forwards and just allowing that right arm to go where it feels good. Now it's my right shoulder that's causing me problems today. So just have a play with where you feel good with that right shoulder. And when you're ready, we're going to sit down, come to our center, bend this right leg and cradle it. So we can take the foot in hand, the knee in hand, or lift it a little higher and cradle. And just gentle rocks here. Oh, the life of this dog, honestly. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it, Winks? Eh? Tough life. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take this foot and place it either over left knee or on the inside of left knee if that feels more comfortable for you. So, whichever you've chosen, we're going to hug left knee with right arm. Inhale, right hand up in front, and exhale to bring the fingertips down just behind you to the right hand side. You can use the fingertips to encourage a straight spine here. Taking care not to overstretch the neck, we're just gently looking over towards the right. Now you can stay just like this, or you can join me in a little bit of shoelace. If you're in my class, you probably know that you either love or hate shoelace. I love it, as you all know. So from this position that we're in, the right leg is crossed over left. We're thinking about bringing the knees on top of each other in a stacked position. So the feet are near opposite hips, and then we're sitting up nice and tall here. Now there is the option to do shoelace arms as well. I am not going to be teaching you that today, purely for selfish reasons, because of this shoulder. So if you're here, we're looking for that beautiful stretch in the piriformis muscle, just down the outside of the right thigh, right buttock. And if you're sat like this, knees stacked on top of each other, feet either side, and you just can't get that sensation, we can take the feet. I mean, you can't see because of the dog, but we can wriggle the left foot further near the front of your mat, like this way. That might help. We can even fold forward. Now that really intensifies the stretch for me. If you're still in twist, that's fine too. I'm sorry we're keeping you there for so long. Okay. Now we're going to bring ourselves up out of this. Take the legs nice and wide in a V shape. And then just exhale and fold forwards, taking hold of the ankles, the feet, the big toes. And just let the head be heavy. And then bringing ourselves up. Let's take the right foot into the left thigh, turning to face over left toes, inhaling to sit up from the hips and exhaling to lead with the chin, coming forwards, taking hold of whatever you can reach. But remember, we're not pushing or forcing, we're encouraging a gentle release down. So if you want to bend the knee here, bend the knee. Now again, noticing how that's feeling in the right side of the body, just below the ribs, the right waist. And then we're going to open this up even more by turning slightly, putting the right hand on right knee, left arm on the inside of left leg, turning, using this contact between the left arm and the left leg to turn the body. And then as before, we could stay like this. We could take a bind around the middle, or you could see about taking this right arm up and over. That is not going to work for me today. It's all about listening to your body and really being honest with yourself about where you're at today. And we all know there are discomforts that are helpful pains, and there are sensations that are just pains. And we do not want to be going near those. Thank you very much. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale, coming all the way up. And then taking our right hand and placing it on the mat next to us, we're going to come up into our little wild thing shape. Yes, please, Willow. My hand needs to be there. So on an inhale, sweeping the hips up and forwards, maybe bringing left arm over and breathing here. And then on the exhale, we're going to sit all the way down. Lovely. So this left leg now, we are going to bring it in and we're going to give it a cradle. So hand maybe in foot, knee in hand as well. Or we lift it a little higher and we cradle. And then setting up for our twist, placing the left foot down again, perhaps on the inside of right leg, perhaps it crosses over. Right hand hugging that left knee. Inhale to float left hand in front. Exhale to float round to the left. Using the fingertips to encourage the upright spine. Now staying exactly as you are, or coming into shoelace on this side. So we're again thinking about stacking the knees. It is going to be different on this side. I am sorry to inconvenience you, sir, in your Savasana that we're not actually supposed to be doing just yet. But you do you, yeah? You do you. So knees stacked on top of each other. That is going to feel different on this side. It feels incredibly different to me on this side. Again, you can encourage, you can see from my face, you can encourage that right foot out towards the front of the mat a little bit to make it stronger. We are not looking for pain. And then maybe folding forwards. You can see my knees are not actually stacked on top of each other here. That's it. It's not really helped by you, is it? Oh, there we go. Breathing here. And then inhaling, coming back to the upright position. Let's unravel the legs and take them back into our tailor's pose. So soles of the feet together, perhaps little bounces, butterfly legs here. And then finding your stillness. And we're going to cross the legs or come into your version of a comfortable seat. Entirely your choice. Okay, so I talked to you about the fact that our vagus nerve is running down the front of the body through all the organs and how it's taking in the three breaths, the chest breathing, the kind of collarbone breath, clavicle breath, the ribs and the tummy. So there's something else we can do to kind of hit all of these areas, and that is chanting Om. Now, it responds to each of the different areas like this. So when we are saying ah, we are activating this area energetically. When we say ooh, we're here. And when we say we're up in our clavicles and also the throat and the head and all of that. So the entire sound is so soothing. I don't know if anybody's seen these videos that are doing the rounds at the moment of people just completely settling babies with that sacred sound. It is phenomenal, and I only wish that I had been more awake and aware when my children were babies. So obviously we are not in a class, we cannot enjoy the communal chanting aspect, but it also means that if this isn't for you, you know, you can just get yourselves comfy, come down into Savasana. Otherwise, we're going to stay seated, and I'm going to invite you to join me in chanting Om 3 times. So it's 3 separate sounds. I will do it first on my own, and then I'll do it 3 more times so that you can join in if you so wish. And then when we've completed our 3 Oms, please bring yourself into a comfortable position for meditation and relaxation. So we're going to close down the eyes, just nice and relaxed, nice straight spine. The first one I will show you. Just allowing the vibration to stay in the body, sensing where you feel it. And then in your own time, bringing yourself into a comfortable position for meditation. You could pause the video here and really take your time. So, when you have found the perfect position for you to be able to relax for the next few minutes, just closing down the eyes if you haven't already done so. Tuning into the breath. Slow, smooth, long and deep. Breathing deeply into the belly. Feeling the ribs front and back, opening, expanding. Feeling the chest lifting with each inhale. Sensing the back of the body against the ground, heavy, rooted. Noticing the sounds coming from my garden. All the different sounds you might be able to hear, and not assigning good or bad values to them, pleasant or unpleasant, relaxing or not relaxing, just noticing them. As soon as you notice them, move on to the next one. And then the next one. And so on. Until perhaps you find silence. But making a promise to yourself to not feel distracted or in any way unsettled by any sounds that you hear. And now bringing awareness to your current situation, the room that you're in, the space that you are in. With your eyes closed, just finding a few details that you can really bring to mind and almost paint in your mind's eye. It could be a painting on your wall, something simple like the carpet, tablecloth. You're just taking your time to visualize these quite neutral images in your mind. And then just picking one of these fairly generic, everyday items. And considering how many people must have been involved with the production of this item at every stage. Not just the production, but the route from it not existing to it existing within your house. Every object has a story, an origin, a reason for being. So no matter how neutral, generic, or boring the item that you have in your mind right now, just give it your authentic gratitude. Really feel grateful. Now bringing awareness back to your body. And take your awareness down to your right big toe. Now, if your right big toe happens to have any kind of painful sensation in it, then pick your left big toe. If your left big toe happens to have any kind of painful sensation in it, then please find another part of your body that feels neutral to you, that holds no emotion, that holds no pain or even discomfort in this moment. Just notice that body part. Give thanks to it for not causing you problems today. Give thanks for everything it does. There's no part of your body that doesn't serve you. Even those of us who suffer with anxiety, panic. It's just our brains trying to protect us. It's not meant to be anything other than caring. It can be easy to overlook something like a big toe, but really it's so crucial for our balance, for how we walk, for wearing lovely shoes. So we're just noticing the small things. And I'm going to read you our prayer for clarity one more time. And ask you to just consider where you can find your blessings and your abundance, and feel authentic gratitude for it. Bless me with the clarity to see what is good in my life, to cherish the small beauties, the everyday wonders, and the tiny gifts. Let me see the abundance in what I have and know better how to share that abundance, so that I enrich this world as it enriches me. Knowing that I am blessed, may I find the courage to make needful changes that allow more goodness into my life. Knowing that I am blessed, may I find the courage to make needful changes that allow more goodness into my life. And I know from conversations with lots of my lovely yogis, so many of you are constantly making these changes. So many of you have this outlook. So many of you have so much courage. I invite you to rest now in this state of relaxation for as long as you so please. But equally, if it's not time to sleep, if you still have to be up performing duties and getting on with your day, just starting to deepen the breath and welcoming some little movements with the fingers, the toes, perhaps blinking the eyes behind the closed lids, rolling over onto one side, and eventually bringing yourselves to a seated position. Namaste. Just try to see and cherish the small beauties, the everyday wonders, and the tiny gifts until I see you again. Take care.